Hello, everybody, and we are so glad that you're joining us to hear about the conference that we have, the RESA International Home Staging Convention. And we wanted to take some time just to give you the highlights and a taste of the speakers, the 2015 speakers. And in case you haven't already booked your ticket, the conference is going to be January 14, 15, and 16 at Treasure Island in Las Vegas. So today we just really and truly wanted to talk about why the success of this conference. RESA's put on years of successful conferences, and there's been some very consistent things that have happened. And I have really had the privilege. I'm Sandra Race. I'm out in Park City, Utah. It's not that far for me to get there, but when I was in Florida, I truly made the effort to attend the RESA conference. It's always incredible venues. This year, and most of them have been in Las Vegas. Needless to say, you can imagine what the food is, the buffet. I have to come home and get serious about a little Weight Watchers afterwards, but the accommodations are great. It's always a reasonable price, and the speakers are incredible. I walk away with so many tips, and that's really what we wanted to give you a taste of, the speakers this year, what you can learn from them, and about the overall event. That RESA has the reputation of bringing you the best, and that's why it's worth making that effort. Today, I have the privilege of introducing you, first of all, to one of the speakers, Shell Brodnick. Hey, Shell, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Well, Shell is the CEO of RESA, which is the Real Estate Staging Association. It's for you guys that are new, and it is really and truly the go-to place for the real estate staging industry. Here's a link in case you don't know about RESA to familiarize yourself. And Shell's really known as a speaker in the industry and a business strategist. So Shell, you've been responsible these years. How many years has the convention been going on?
Since 2010, we had our very first convention, and we've had one every single year, always in Vegas, except for 2013, we were in San Francisco. And we're back in Vegas. It's just an amazing venue. We get the best treatment at the Treasure Island Hotel. It's actually more affordable. We get a lot of requests, can we take the convention to Texas or take it to Orlando or New York? We could, but if I do, your convention ticket just for you to get in the door would double, if not triple, in some locations. And it boils down to what the venue charges us. And then the hotel rooms are also more expensive in the other locations, and so are flights. So good news, talking about hotel rooms, the Treasure Island has actually agreed to lower our room rate from the $89 a night down to $69 a night. So we need to book by December 26th in order to get that rate. Again, it's $69 a night at TI, and get it by the 26th. After that, I can't guarantee that they'll extend it again. They've already extended it once for me. So that's a great deal.
That's incredible. Well, you know, I have been to several of the Vegas conferences, but I also went to the one in California. And I have to tell you guys, just the number of flights and the price of airline alone makes it so much easier to get into Vegas. So yeah, I totally agree. I was glad when you brought it back to Vegas. So, Shell, you're going to be talking to us about how to become a respected expert on our local level. And I truly do believe we really start locally, and then we can, branch out. So tell us about some of your takeaways and what you're going to be speaking about.
I'm glad to do that. First of all, what I want everybody to know is that becoming a respected expert on your local level can be quite easy, and there's a plan, and I'm going to talk about the plan, and so everybody can take that plan and execute it when you get home. But there's certain areas that RESA can actually help you and aid you in that process. And one, I'm going to talk about RESA chapters, how you can start a chapter or take part in a chapter. And then also the groups that you're going to want to join in addition to RESA, and the areas in which you're going to participate in these chapters and the other organizations that are going to give you the best return for your business. And I'll give you a little tip if you're going to come into a realtor association and you're going to join as an affiliate member, which I'm going to recommend that everybody does, then when you are volunteering for something, an event, they might have a fundraiser, a fashion show, a craft feed, whatever it may be, one of the best volunteer positions for you to be able to volunteer for, in addition to just helping stage the event or put some kind of decor into the event, would be a hospitality position. So selling tickets of somebody who's greeting somebody that comes in the doors. You're going to be able to meet more people that way just by participating in hospitality. Also going to teach you how to raise your credibility by using leadership positions on your local level in both the RESA chapters and the other organizations that you join. And by the time I'm done with it, everybody is going to be like shooting fish in a barrel, which is many clients that you can get by putting this process in place.
That is great. And I love the shooting fish in a barrel.
It's so true. I mean, you know, people want to join different organizations for different reasons, but I'm a firm believer, let's hang out where the agents hang out if you want to get business from them.
Absolutely.
So next up, we're going to go ahead and talk with Abby VASEK, and Abby was on HGTV Design Star and is with Luxury Real Estate Designers. Welcome, Abby, to our program.
Hi, so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So Abby, just to touch a little bit on yourself, and you can jump in here as well if we skip over everything, but you are a seasoned designer, a multimedia personality for HGTV, CBS, and NBC. You've been featured in HGTV Magazine, Texas Monthly, and the New York Times. The national home shows and garden shows are blessed to have you as a frequent speaker, and you also teach continuing ed classes for the TREC, and that's in Texas. So anything else that you want to share with everybody about yourself?
Gosh, I just have found that, you know, I've got two loves in my life, and one is certainly helping people in their homes, and then the other is working to encourage people in whatever their business endeavors are. I have, through the real estate education that I've been doing, teaching realtors, I have just really been confirmed with how much they need home stagers. You know, I get these very intimate settings with a group of realtors, sometimes, you know, as small as a dozen in some of my classes, and I really like that because we get to talk about their needs. And they need us. They need us as much as we need them in this business, and I've had a really fun time this past year connecting home stagers to realtors, and I just feel like I'm in the thick of it and couldn't be happier.
Great. So let's talk about what you're going to talk about. Is the title of your speech is Collaborate to Build a Better Business. So why don't you tell us about 3 of your takeaways?
Absolutely. I think, you know, going back to some ancient knowledge and what was that know thyself, I think it is so true here. If we get honest about our strengths and our weaknesses, we can build a business that will be more successful. And you learn what you do best, and then you fill your business with people that do the other things that you don't do as well. I've got some really great examples, some fun stories I cannot wait to share with you, and it will help you reach that level of success that much quicker. And then that parlays right into the next thing about us being a resource. When we're doing home staging, we're there to problem solve. You know, all sorts, a myriad will always come up, and that's great because you're there to solve those problems. And the only way that you can truly be helpful is if you have a large source of resources, you know, a large pool of resources, rather that you can bring in to really elevate your level of service and to help the end client. And then the last thing that I always love talking about, I make myself always go to market. You know, Beck's one of my design partners. She is amazing, and she just took us up to High Point, where we got exposed to everything that's coming through, all the new things that we'll be seeing in 2015 and 2016. We were lucky to see just recently, and I'm going to come back and share some of that because I think no matter, while a lot of design principles are constant, it is so important to keep the actual content that's going in there fresh, and I want to help with that.
Well, that's going to be awesome, especially with our convention. normally we're able to piggyback right on Las Vegas market. And this year, Las Vegas market changed their dates and did not clear it with me first. So when I went to book our event, there were no more meeting spaces around in order to piggyback back-to-back, day-to-day for the market. So they have been properly notified that they should clear these things with me in the future. And so hopefully next year, we'll be back on track. And so everything that you tell everybody, they'll be able to take to market. Well, thank you so much for being with me today, and we look forward to your talk in Vegas.
Thanks, Shell. Me too. Looking forward to it.
All right, take care. And next we have COLETTE CARLSON. COLETTE is a business communication expert and motivational speaker. I found COLETTE online, as I do every year, where I'm looking for amazing speakers. And I believe I'd reached out to COLETTE a few years back, and for whatever reason, couldn't make it work. This year was like, I have to have her, and I didn't remember it at first that I'd seen her, but I remembered when I saw her this year, thinking, I just have to have her, and I thought I'd give her a call, and we have made that happen. So welcome to our program, COLETTE.
Thank you.
So what is it that you'd like to tell us about, a little bit about your background? I know you're the founder of Speak Your Truth, and you're a communication expert, an author, motivational speaker. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what else that you do.
Absolutely. Although you look up on that screen and you go, oh my gosh, you know, looks somewhat accomplished. She earns the right to be on that stage. I also want everybody that's going to be in attendance to recognize that I didn't start out that way. Everything that I'm going to share with attendees, I've had to learn how to do myself. I used to be a big fat liar. That's why I'm Speak Your Truth. And what I mean by that is I used to be 50 pounds heavier than I am now. I was in a dead-end job, or a job I could do with my eyes closed. And when I decided to get real, get honest, take a look in the mirror and recognize that my life is a reflection of my belief system, then I decided to make the changes that I needed to in order to get going where I wanted to go. And within a 3-year period, I had taken off the weight. I had become the #1 sales rep for sales legends Brian Tracy and Tommy Hopkins, and parlayed it into the career that I have now. I was not the confident individual. Oh, sure, I had bravado, but it was deep down inside, I was an emotional chicken. And so I had to learn how to speak my truth. And what that means to me is when your thoughts, words, and actions are one and the same. And that's some of the strategies we're going to talk about at the conference.
Well, I think it's amazing. You and I have an awful lot in common. And we'll have to talk about that someday with what we have in common. But let's talk about a little bit about your 3 takeaways. Your talk title is Speak Your Truth to Achieve Outrageous Success. So tell us a little bit about what we're going to learn.
You bet. Well, I believe that all of us have, aspirations and goals we want to achieve. We have these dreams, but somehow there's this divide between what we have and what we want. And really closing that void means that you have to put a plan in place. And to me, that plan begins with speaking your truth. So it is about getting on your thoughts, words, and actions in alignment. But from a communication point of view, it's also about learning how to say what needs to be said, but doing so with grace and tact. Because I find that most people are so much like I used to be. I wanted everybody to like me. I even wanted people to like me that I didn't even like. So, when you come from that mindset, you're never going to risk being real. You're never going to get comfortable having those uncomfortable conversations. Because let's face it, if we're going to really get what we need and want, then we're going to have to change our mindset, which I'm going to discuss as well. And also, we've got to stop all this running around multitasking, thinking we're being productive, when really that just sets us up to make mistakes, to have communication snafus, to trip over ourselves. And we need to start multi-asking. We need to get comfortable asking for what we need to be successful. And this is especially true, I think, for stagers who sometimes sell themselves short. They're leaving business on the table because they hesitate to consistently ask, whether that's, referrals, testimonials, business, the sale, or that support. So in the program, we're really going to address the why you must stop multitasking and how to start multi-asking.
I am so excited about your topic because it's really, really, it's a home run onto what is happening in the industry. And what you said about, you want people to like you. I see this all the time. We have a large following in social media and all the stagers across the nation and the world globally even. We're all able to communicate together. And one of the common threads I see is that people don't want to stand up to their policies and procedures or ask for the sale or ask for the testimonial. They don't want to bother somebody. They will lower their price because they want the job and want somebody to like them for the promise of, more business down the line. And it's really the opposite. We've really got to start, like you said, multi-asking instead of the multitasking, number one. And also stop putting yourselves down and not thinking that you value yourself enough in order to stand by your policies and your procedures. And I think that your topic is just really going to teach a lot of people how to do that and how to do it with confidence and tactfully so it doesn't turn people off. But
Absolutely.
They have the right in their business to be able to stand on their own and say, I'm a professional and this is how I work.
You got it. And one of the things I'm going to make sure I do is provide the phraseology for people to ask and to have those conversations, because I know my own personal frustration sometimes when I attend a program is, they tell you you need to do this, but hey, give me the words. Give me the words to get started until I can take these words and massage them to be my own so that I can hear what that sounds like so it doesn't come across as pushy or obnoxious.
Yeah, I'm just thrilled and can't wait for it, as I'm sure everybody else is. Well, thank you for joining us today on the program, and we will see you in Las Vegas. Next, we have Carol Bass. Carol Bass is an industry professional and educator and one of the wittiest people that I know. If you have not had the pleasure to meet or hang out with Carol, please come introduce yourself, mob her at the Vegas convention. She would love to meet with you, and you will feel the same way that I do about her. So, Carol, welcome.
Well, thank you, Shell. I appreciate that.
Now, you are a Southern girl at heart and in geography, are you not? Where are you from?
I am originally from Memphis, Tennessee, but now I live in Nashville. So, yeah, you are picking up a Southern accent, that's for sure.
We're picking that up, and I do want to come out to Nashville. I've had a trip that I've wanted to plan out there for a long time, and when I do, I will certainly connect with you. Now, Carol, you've built 3 successful businesses over the years, focusing on redesign and staging. And you're also a master professional trainer with the Decorating and Staging Academy. You're a RESA Pro, voted best in house. Dale Carnegie and former Toastmasters. I did not know that you did Dale Carnegie. I should have put that together because I can definitely see some positive things from them. I love that. I love that program. Is there anything else that you want to share with everybody about yourself that we don't know?
Well, it's I think of myself as sort of a self-made woman. I love what I do, and I have been told that when you're passionate about something, you could sell snow to Eskimos, and that is true. If I am passionate about it, everything that I've done since 1982, I always had people telling me, it's like, you really love what you do, don't you? I said, does it show? I think it does. So I do. I love what I do, and I love sharing. I love helping entrepreneurs find the little nuggets that can make the difference. I tell my classes, because I do teach and train with the Decorating and Staging Academy, and I tell my classes, it takes more than talent to be good at being a good entrepreneur. And one of the things that it takes to be a good entrepreneur is the ability to communicate. And communication skills are what I see a lot of my students lacking. So when I say it takes more than talent, it's going to take some of those communication skills. So, what I hope to share, is the facts about good storytelling. I have learned through the years that it is such a great non-confrontational way of sales. In every business that I have built, everything involved sales. And so if you can't sell yourself or sell your service or or put someone at ease, then it doesn't really matter how much talent you have, because you won't get a chance to show it. So, you've heard that old saying that facts tell, but stories sell. So whether you're selling a product, you can say, there's this, and this involved in the product, and there's all this research. All of those things are facts. But when you can share a story of how that product absolutely changed someone's life, suddenly the ears perk up and they start to see themselves in that story. So I have found through the years that being able to take the information and turn it into a story, or to just simply honestly share a story of someone that maybe felt the same way they did, or are feeling. That's why I say, using a story to overcome objections. That's a great way of overcoming an objection, because I'm not saying that it's anything that she's thinking. I'm just going to tell her a story of somebody that kind of feels the same way she does. And then by telling her the story, she can go, oh, I see. And then we're going to also share different ways to find your stories and figuring out which story would be best to use, in each situation. So, Shell, that's kind of what I have in mind, to share, and am truly looking forward to it.
Well, I am so excited for it, and you and I also have in common that speaking with passion. Coaching stagers every day, every week I talk to somebody, and I always hit home, you've got to sell with some passion. People don't buy from you just because that you offer a product that they have or that they want. They're going to buy from you because they believe in you. And they're only going to believe in you is when you present yourself with some passion and some authority of what you're doing. And when you do that, guess what else happens? Everything else comes to fall in line to where you don't have to lower your price. That's not going to matter so much that you are thinking you want everybody to like you, because they're going to like you because you're going to be authentic in yourself in your presentation. So I'm really excited to hear your topic, and I can't wait to see you in Vegas. And thank you
can't wait to be there.
All right, so next up we're going to go to the next slide, Mary LARSEN. And Mary, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I am so good. And can I just say that just listening to all of these speakers, I cannot wait for this conference. I mean, everything that has just been talked about, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this stuff is so powerful. So I'm thrilled to be here. I'm sure you can tell.
Well, I am excited. Tell us a little bit about your background and what you'd like for everybody to know about you, because you came highly recommended.
Oh, thank you. So, all right. This is what goes on. And Carol just talked so much about passion, and you talked about passion, and you have to have it. But one of the things that happens is that we all kind of bought into that saying of do what you love and the money will follow. And there's kind of a gap in that statement, or rather there's kind of it's like they didn't finish the sentence. It's do what you love and the money will follow, as long as you learn all those other things that you need to do to make the money follow, which is what this conference is all about, which is fabulous. So what ended up happening for me is that when I was able to make money and then realized it wasn't happening for so many of my peers, it's actually how I got into the business of speaking and talking and showing people this is what you can do, this is what you can do to take your business and actually do what you love and make the money so you can keep doing it. And one of the first ways that I got out there was actually with my book. It came out a handful of years ago. It was an Amazon top 10 best-selling book, How to Open and Operate a Financially Successful Redesign, Redecorate, and Home Staging Business. So every so often I like to put quotes around it and say, I wrote the book. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, I am so excited to be able to meet you in person. So tell us a little bit about your topic and give us the 3 good takeaways that we can expect to learn.
Okay, great. So you're worth more than you think. And it's true. It doesn't matter what level of business you're in. It doesn't matter if you've just started and you're charging $60 an hour, or if you're charging $600 an hour, or if you're charging $6,000 an hour. We never can get a clear picture of what we can deliver and what we can offer to people. And we're the worst when it comes to evaluating that for ourselves. So I'm going to cover a handful of things. Understanding the number one reason that you're not making the money that you want, and how to flip-flop that so that not only do you understand that reason, but something you can do about it. I'm going to cover the simple secret that instantly makes you more comfortable during your sales conversations. And you've heard it from a lot of speakers today, you know, using the techniques that Colette talked about, using the techniques that Carol talked about. All of those things are going to be fabulous for you. And this is just one tiny little thing that can really change it for you so that you can use all those other techniques as well. And then I'm a huge believer in intuition. I think women have it. I think so many women use it. And there is one time, however, where you're going to be led very, very, very wrong when you listen to your gut. And I'm going to go over that and something you can do about that as well.
I'm so excited about your presentation as well. All these topics are all things that are very close to me and that I believe in and absolutely love. And the intuition side, that's an interesting take. I've had several conversations with some of my colleagues recently about intuition, and it's like, I just wish I would have listened to my gut. And what's funny is you really know it going into it, don't you? When you're really looking at a situation and that little bitty tiny voice in your gut kind of speaks up, and then we ignore it.
Yeah.
And it goes away. And then it happens. And then you look back and say, I knew it was going to happen. Why didn't I listen to it? So I'm excited if you can teach everybody a way to either circumvent that or how to patch it up and bandage it up after it's happened, that would be amazing.
Fabulous. I'll do it.
All right. Well, I am looking forward to it. And these are just a few of our speakers, everybody that we have. Not everybody was able to join us. We're going to try to do another recording with the rest of our speakers and our workshop presenters, because those have some really amazing programs that we put together for everybody that may be a little bit more specific to the ins and outs of your business. So we want to also remind you, the conference is January 14th, 15th, and 16th in Las Vegas. The room rate at the TI has been lowered from the $89 a night to $69 a night, but you need to book by December 26th. If you've already booked your hotel, the TI will actually give you this room rate already automatically. You don't need to do anything along those lines. And to hear more about our speakers, the convention, the agenda, everything that you ever wanted to know, go to RESAConvention.com and be sure to take advantage of the early bird pricing, which ends on the 15th. After the early bird, we do have a regular pricing, and we will have one more price increase as it gets closer to the event. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Sandra Race, thank you for moderating. I so much appreciate it, and we will see